Once again, here we go again, Mr. Speaker. Most of the complaints we're hearing from the other side aren't about the things in this bill that for some reason they think are actually bad policy. It's complaints again about other things that they want to pass. That's unfortunate because there's a lot of great stuff in this bill, and to be perfectly honest, I actually think in some ways it's a compromise bill because there's certain things in this bill I don't really care for. And yet there's a lot of good stuff in the bill too, in the package that was put together. This bill is about getting people to work. This bill is about allowing them to save more of their money to be able to spend how they see fit. This bill is about some of the greatest things in this bill, in my humble opinion, are some of the licensure reforms. This idea of getting people past the barrier that is licensure, occupational licensing. It is a barrier. We have it for certain safety and safety reasons, and yet it creates a barrier. And so trying to find quicker ways to get people licensed so they can get their jobs here in Wisconsin is incredibly important. There's one section in this bill, Mr. Speaker, that talks about an exam, an outdated exam, an exam that if you actually take the test and answer it according to state law, it's a statutes and rules exam. If you answer it according to state law, you will get the answer wrong because the Department of Safety Professional Services hasn't updated the test and hasn't done it in years. So if you actually know your job and know what the law says, you will fail the test because that is the competency of this administration. And there are several groups in the healthcare industry that have come out in support of this part of the bill, which is also a separate bill we passed out of my committee, to remove that requirement of them because all it is a barrier and it's not improving safety for their patients. So that's in this bill. There's interstate compacts in this bill. There's moving along and speeding up the review process for looking at criminal background checks, allowing DISPIS, something that DISPIS actually requested. This is something DISPIS requested in the study committee. They asked to be able to not conduct the full background check once they had determined on an applicant for a license, if in fact it had been found that the criminal violation that may have happened in the past wasn't really relevant to the license. They asked for that leeway. So this bill gives them that leeway. It's part of another bill we passed out of my committee, and I think we passed that one on the full floor, as I recall. I think that was Assembly Bill 202, which was to help people who have made mistakes in the past get licensed to get back to work more quickly. Something I may actually point out that some of the people who generally support the other side of the aisle, groups like Expo, were very supportive of, and yet the other side of the aisle chose not to vote for a bill that would get people to work more quickly. So this has a lot of good stuff in it. Some things I don't care for, but a lot of great stuff. And if people don't like what's in here, great, let's talk about that. But let's not talk about the fact that somehow it doesn't have your entire wish list in it, because this is about legislating, and no piece of legislation is going to have every part of any one of our wish lists in it. This is about passing good policy to get people to work, allowing them to keep more of their money, and allowing Wisconsin to move forward. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.